Hello everyone, it's Dave from JD CycleWorks. Today I have something interesting to show you. Ever wonder why your bike makes different power than your friend's bike with the same exact components on it? Well, it's one of the questions I could never exactly answer. However, I'm going to show you two bikes here which have the same exhaust, same cam, same year, same engine size, same injector, same throttle body size, and just a slightly different air filter, but they both breathe in the front. So they're pretty close, but they have completely two different results. They're both running beautifully. In fact, I build both maps off the same base map. So kind of as close as we can get. And you're gonna see when I run this bike and I show you the output numbers that there's gonna be some big differences. It doesn't mean that one is no good at all. It just means that every bike is different. Who knows if there's some drag throughout the drivetrain on one, or one has a little less compression when it was built from Harley Davidson, because we know their specs are not that precise, or who knows what. But the answer is two different power outputs. One I did yesterday, one I did today. So pretty close time frame. And I just thought it'd be very interesting to be able to show you this and just have one of these questions I can never actually answer for people. But hopefully it just shows you that if you don't get those super monster numbers and a bike runs beautiful, don't get too upset about it. You don't always get that perfect looking dyno graph. Sometimes there's tires that aren't round, and there's things in the drivetrain that cause vibration and harmonic problems that make dyno graphs look pretty ugly. And there's things that are beyond my abilities to fix and give you that perfect line. So we're going to show you this. We're going to run bike, and I'll show you the graphs, and you guys can see for yourselves that sometimes I can't give you that perfect show-winning dyno graph. But it doesn't mean it's bad. The bike still runs beautiful, it's fast as heck, and it's nothing to get too concerned about. But don't get hung up on the numbers all the time. When you do, it ends up costing you thousands of dollars. You end up going backwards a lot of time when people do that. Whenever anyone's gotten hung up on the numbers, they say, well, let's try this, this, and this, and this. They end up spending buckets of money and end up with no better results. Sometimes worse results. So it's one of the things I want to show you today, and hopefully it can help you out with your build of your bike, and maybe make your life a little easier when you don't get them perfect numbers, that perfect dyno graph. So here it is. This is the bike that's on a dyno here. This is the one that I did this morning. This one has the Arlen S oval air filter, which is really nice. It breathes in the front and the sides. Chrome works 2-2. You can see in there it's got S&S intake, 55 millimeter, 5.5 injectors, 117 engine. This is bike number 2 I did yesterday. Pretty much similar. Okay, that's a road glide, a street glide. That shouldn't change how the power is. 117 Arlen S inverted filter, still breathes from the front and the sides. Intake manifold is a 55. Same cam for Cyclorama 483 in both bikes. Chromeworks 2-2 system. Pretty darn close. Let me fire this up and see what happens. brought everything up. All right, I brought everything up here to show you how these bikes did. And you guys have to guess which bike made the more power and see who gets it right. So anyway, one bike, the more powerful one, his original graph is this green one here before it was touched. You see the torque line is much higher than the stock torque line on the lesser powered bike. Now we can see the final output of the one bike is 133 foot-pounds of torque and 123 horsepower. That's the red line here. That's your torque line. That's your horsepower line. They all cross at 5250. Now the other bike, which we did the other day, actually I just gave it away. Anyway, 140 foot-pounds of torque and 128 horsepower. So the funny thing here is these should be pretty identical. These two bikes. One was done yesterday, one was done today. Weather's very similar, temperatures are very similar. Like I said, they even have the same baffle and the mufflers are both louvered baffles. But one you can clearly see is really a high performer. 140 foot-pounds of torque with the 117 the cam upgrade, 120 horsepower. It's pretty wild. Even the other one, 133, 123, that's on the lower end of the spectrum, but still great upgrade over what it rolled in. It rolled in at 112 torque and 92 horsepower. Now, I don't know if you remember the Goldenrod. The Goldenrod always was a high output bike. It always showed higher than average numbers, which I'm happy about, but I really didn't like. I wish it was average, because everything it showed was above average, which it's hard to tell you guys. This is still above average for a 114, but the Goldenrod always was from day one. But here it is, two bikes, 2022s, 117s, both with traction control. Both have Chromeworks 2-2 exhausts, both have louvered baffles, both have 483 Cyclorama cams, S&S 55mm intakes, 5.5 injectors, two Arlen-S air filters, similar but different. Is that a factor? I doubt it. They both breathe from the front and the sides, and to me that's always proven to be what gives us that little extra edge in having a filter that only breathes from the sides. And a big difference in power there. Look at that, 133 torque to 140, 123 to 128. That's a big difference in two different bikes that are pretty much identical. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope it lets you guys who have bikes that are high performance be a little more proud, and those guys that have bikes that don't put out the maximum number, don't get upset about it. It's a dynograph. You don't ride a dyno. The bike still feels awesome. So it's going to be, don't get too hung up on numbers, guys. Have a great day.